Hello guys, welcome to the channel. A three-eye atlas interstellar comet has passed through our solar system in space. Wow. This is amazing news, guys. The space news and scientists have been announcing this everywhere right now. And I found this topic pretty fascinating, to be honest. I'm a big fan of like science and space and Earth and the solar system, the galaxy, and all these things happening, outside in space. Right now, this is something that the scientists and everybody's really talking about right now. They're saying that this is the third ever confirmed interstellar object to visit our solar system after one and two. There's already been like two interstellar comets, that looks like the scientists have discovered already. And they're announcing how pretty much, they found this out there again, but this one looks more intense. And like, it seems like a lot of these scientists and NASA, they're keeping a close eye on this because they believe this is like something like, like an alien, something, more powerful than us, from my understanding. And so what they're saying right now, this discovery happened in July 1st, by the Atlas survey in Chile, and they're saying that this is one of the fastest interstellar visitors to ever be spotted, in the solar system, that supposedly it had like some 210,000 kilo kmph, I'm sorry, kilometer speeds or miles, 130,000 miles per hour. Like, that's pretty fast. And it seems like the fastest approach is expected to be spotted on October 29, between the Earth and Mars, and from the sun. So this is pretty cool stuff and like fascinating things to learn about. Scientists are keeping a close eye on this because, they're saying that there's a lot of people predicting right now that if this thing actually gets really close to us and, they could be coming to say hi to us here, in Earth. And people believe that this is something that looks abnormal out there in the solar system, like something moving very fast. And I love learning about these things, to be honest, because it feels like I personally feel like there's something more out there than just this planet. There's life outside of Earth, in my opinion. And I feel like I'm a big believer in God and the Messiah, and right now, seeing this comet interstellar in the sky, moving at these speeds, people are like, man, could this be God returning, the Messiah, coming to. A lot of people believe that in the Bible that God and the Messiah, is planning to return one day. And when he does return, he's going to clear out all the bad and the good, and this time he might come back for an actual judgment. This is what, I believe. This is very fascinating to me because I feel like, I'm a big believer in spiritual, person. And I do believe that God is watching everything in this planet and Earth, and I believe that God created everything from the solar system to Earth, everything, guys. This is what is being talked about right now outside in the solar system, and they're pretty much just mostly announcing how it's pretty much like record breaking speeds. The scientists are excited because it's moving faster than the previous interstellars. It's already been Interstellar 1 and 2, and this is the 3. This is a rare opportunity, and they're saying that each interstellar comet gives astronomers a chance to study material formed around other stars. It helps the scientists and people understand how unique or common our solar system is, and unusual characteristics, the forward-facing dust plume and coma are different from most solar system comets. This is pretty much like scientists and NASA, they're all pretty much like analyzing critically, these comets, interstellar comets, that's what they call them. Is these little round shaped things that, they have a light and you can see with a telescope how fast they're moving, and it looks like an abnormal movement. That's why they think it's something like, like an alien, something that's just beyond from our knowledge, from what scientists know and everything. And scientists are doing, they're using a lot of these telescopes, like the Hubble and ground observatories for detailed images and spectra. So these telescopes are able to see way out there in the solar system, thousands of miles, outside in the galaxy, and they're seeing these comets and interstellar comets, guys. With these telescopes, they're able to compare its composition, their behavior, the structure of the comets that originated in our own solar system. By doing this, scientists and people from NASA, they're all just looking for clues about its origin and its environment and where it came from. That's really what they're trying to really understand about these comets, interstellar comets like the Three-Eye Atlas interstellar comet. Like, where did it come from? This is very fascinating because, like, I'm like, wow, like this is just like so fascinating to hear, like. And like I said, I do believe, God could be coming and there's life out there. There has to be life out there on Earth. And I am a true believer that, Earth is not the only planet where there's life. And, like they say, where there's water, there's life. I do believe that there's life somewhere else, outside of Earth, guys. So the scientists are pretty much examining this stellar comet, and they're saying that's very unique, and the scientists are very excited about it, and they're now comparing this Three-Eye Atlas stellar comet, comparing it with the first two interstellar comets that they found in the past. Right now they're kind of like predicting that pretty much this interstellar comet, is probably going to pay a visit to planet Earth, in like thousands of years coming, or in the near future, but that is approaching Earth very rapidly and fast. That's what they're saying. So yeah, it's interesting, to see what's gonna happen in the future, with this interstellar comet, like what's gonna happen, and to me, I find it very fascinating, guys. But I just wanted to share this little video, and to anybody that watches out there and is probably not aware or doesn't really watch the news and space news, but this is something that is actually currently happening right now. And, this interstellar comet was discovered around July 1st, I think, or, somewhere around July. And, a lot of scientists and people are talking about this. And I find it pretty interesting and fascinating, and I'm excited to see what the future is. But hopefully, like this is not something that is going to destroy humanity and Mother Nature, and it's just something that's gonna, there's people predicting that if this is an actual alien or something, an extraterrestrial, of some sort, that the stock market is gonna plummet and that, money's not gonna be valuable anymore because it's just like, man, this is an alien. This is something that has way more advanced and capabilities than what we know or here in this planet Earth, so to me it's very fascinating, to learn about that. But yeah, guys, feel free to let me know your thoughts and comment down below about this interstellar comet Three-Eye Atlas, that NASA and scientists are talking about. And what do you think do you think this is just like some weird glitch that the telescopes are showing that's not really anything? I don't think it's that. But I actually do believe that scientists and NASA, they don't usually lie about these things, and this is something that's way more advanced and, than what we are probably knowledgeable about. But let me know your thoughts about this interstellar comet, that NASA and the space news is talking about. If you guys don't know me, my name is Jesus, guys. I also go by the name of JB, the Unknown Prophet, which is my artist name, which sometimes I do music, Feel free to subscribe to this channel, to stay updated with new videos. I make videos about different things and topics. And well, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you guys found this video informative, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Take care.